What's up guys, my name's Nick and I am the content creator for Decorimist, and today we're going to be building a roller coaster here on Park Beyond. So at the moment I'm just going through a bit of like variations in which Park Beyond has. There's only 3 roller coasters showing. I don't know if it's my game, I'm not too sure, but it doesn't seem to be quite a lot. And then you've got several there of templates in which you can pre-use for your park if you're not confident of building roller coasters. We've got like Dangerous Crossing there, Harry goes round, Loop the Loop, that's quite cool, Highway Shuffle, that's awesome, Jumpy Castle, and Double Solo. But we're going to go into standard coaster. This is just the standard coasters in which we use. So you can place any standard coaster, that's the blueprint for it. As you can see, you've got all those arrows. You can rotate it anywhere you want. You can rise the coaster how you want. You can rise it quite high. As I zoom out here and show you, that's quite high. You can actually start the coaster from there. So you've got some variations. You can't put it back down into the tunnels. I think you have to use the terraforming to kind of like put it underground to start off with. I haven't tried that yet. As you can see, you've got all those arrows there. Now that's where you can put your entrance and exits and how you wish. Now, as you can see here, you see that the ghost coaster is actually moving at the moment. Now, it's showing about how it's getting around the track. So, obviously, you get down on the right-hand side there, you've got some speed options there. And on the left-hand side, you've got placement settings. You've got ignore terrain. You've got support, so you can turn off your supports if you wish. Auto yaw adjustment there. Orient to surface helps with smooth transition. So when turned on, nodes will play surface automatically orient themselves with surface. And then you've got off-rail orient to surface, which is the same thing as orient to surface. We're going to switch these all on for today, and we're going to put the grid width up to 4 meters. It goes from 1, 2, and 4. We're going to keep that on 4 there. And grid height, you can have it from 1 meter, and then you can have it 2 meters. We're going to use 2 meters for the grid height. So we start from the track. Now you can push the track all the way out, as you can see that I'm doing right now. So you've got some options there to move the track. You see where the grids are. Here we're going to be placing a chain lift. So we want to rise or pitch. So you can roll, pitch, or rise. That's another option you can do. We're going to rise that coaster up as it's coming up here. So we want to give it kind of like a smooth chain lift, and then we'll move it a little bit forwards so it looks a bit natural. I find with this game it's a very unnatural sort of like building complex. I think also I want to just pitch it. No, I don't pitch it in this video, that's fine. I just keep it as it is. I think we're trying to keep it simple. So we've done that. Now we're going to switch it down to tracks, and we're going to bring it down because obviously laws of physics, what goes up must come down. So we've got the coaster now is going up and down, and then we're going to bring it forwards. And this is where I want to do a half loop, and this is where complex tracks start to get a bit this is what I find quite difficult, and I'm still trying to practice. So I'm trying to pitch. You see how I'm pitching the coaster, and it's gone from red, now it's gone to blue. So I kind of try and keep it as smooth as possible. Now what I was doing was adding 1 or more tracks to that, as you'll see in a second. You see that? And I was putting it, my natural instance was to kind of like pull it that way a little bit, like kind of move it in that direction. Obviously you can make it higher as I'm about to do, and then you obviously place the track down. If we bring it over to this view, you can see how the direction of the train's following, and then we want to kind of roll it or pitch it, so we're making sure that we're getting the correct angle for the roller coaster. Now did you see that the ghost coaster had rolled back, and I just noticed that? So what I'm going to be doing now I'm going to be going over to these nodes, and you see those little diamond shapes, and I'm just going to be pressing triangle on those diamond shapes. You see that? It's deleted that track. And then I can go back to the track again. Obviously, you can do undo if you wish. And that's another way of doing it, obviously. And then we're going to push it. We're going to make it a little bit smaller this time. And I don't believe I'm going to add more than one track segment in. So it's going to be one node to other node point here. And we want to try and keep it as nice and smooth as possible. And this is when it gets a little bit difficult. If you want to make your standard roller coaster, you've got so where you got the place tracks there, you see where the circle is on the place tracks on the left hand side of the UI. You've got the cannon, and then you've got different types of inversions. But if you want to create your own custom inversion, that's the way to do it. And I need to learn a little bit more on just how to do more smoother banking. So look, it's becoming quite complex already. So if we want to kind of like, I don't know, let's say divide this between this and Planet Coaster. I think the building options are very complex, to be honest. Partly on the Bandai Namco's made it seem it was relatively simple. Hopefully this will improve just a little bit in patches, and there might be a bit more easier techniques, but I need to kind of discover it. As for a child, this can be quite frustrating for a child to play with, especially if they want to do complex tracks like that. So it's kind of done a dive loop. It's gone straight down into a bank hold. Now, can you see this? This is another thing. Now I've made the coaster go straight, there's an option on the right hand side, just underneath a page there, it says straighten. If I press straighten, it kind of does this weird kind of bank because it's not in the correct like kind of pitch roll, and you will see it in a second. So as you can see, I'm trying to do a spiral on it. I'm trying to get it so it straightens up. Now you see I'm trying to bank it off now over to the right hand side. I won't be able to do that, so I will press the straighten button and it does that. That's this weird turning. So that is something else that Bandai Namco and Part Beyond needs to be having a look. Now I can do perfect banking with the gridlocks that I have. So we're going to be trying to do another roll here. Just trying to make the coaster a bit more cool. You see how it's quite difficult to do. Now you can keep your tracks tight around the corner, but to make it natural as possible, a coaster banks. So, and if you want to try and keep it as natural as possible, the physics to be normal, then you want to add banking. Now we're going to go into place modules. Now this is really cool. We've got cannon there, which jumps the train. We've got ramp, it jumps over a ramp. We've got a two-way fork where the train kind of splits. You see these little video segments that it's playing right now? Three-way fork, that looks quite cool. Spring back the coaster, I like that. Launch, obviously typical launch. We've got what's that? Filter. Oh, it's filtering out the coaster. So you can go multiple directions. Intersection, so you can crossway a coaster. Elevator, I like that. I've had a look at the elevator module. Car lift, I've seen that. That's very unusual. Station, if you want it to bank another station and then come back round again, and off rail. But we're going to be using off-rail. Now, off-rail is really cool. Now, as you can see, because I've switched tunnelling on, I can see the coaster tunnelling its way around the track. Now, what's going to happen is the coaster's going to come round and it's going to go in this big giant ball thing, and it's really cool to watch. And when the coaster comes back round again, you will see it go into this ball effect. So, I'm just going to be completing this. See that the coaster is now coming around the corner. Don't be too worried about how it just went from day to dark. That's two different videos altogether. See, I'm bringing it out now off the off-rail module, and then I want to try to bank it now to the right because I don't want it going smack into a track. Plus, it wouldn't let me go for another track anyway. It'll just come up red. But if I wanted to make a crisscross, I could do that. So if I wanted to make that track kind of like straight, I could add that crisscrossing now. So I could have it crossing over that track. So that's a cool thing to do. I want to do another kind of like barrel roll here. I like these barrel rolls. I think if you wanted to kind of like clone a real roller coaster, say for example, or Park at Colossus, it's a 10 looping coaster, you could use these kind of custom made segments to do that. I think it has more variety of making those. It has made it a little bit easier than Planet Coaster, but at the same time it's difficult to make it as natural as possible. You've got to be having a lot of patience to do it. I think this is where now I'm going to be adding the cannon module, which is really cool. And the coaster kind of gets into the cannon, and it kind of just like, you know, it jumps. Not really much to say about the cannon module. I haven't really had a go. I think you can pitch the cannon so you can make it go up. So you can have it vertically going up if you wish. This coaster won't have any brakes. I didn't put any brakes on the coaster. I mean, once you get the gist of it and how the ride works and how the coaster physics work, it becomes much easier. But you see how wide that coaster is. It needs kind of like a wide space. Obviously, you can use module pieces on the UI as well to add like tunnels, lighting effects. And then what we're doing now, you can see where it says down there, it says coaster test details. It's now just testing to make sure it gets around the track. Now obviously once you finish your editor mode, those nodes do disappear. They don't stay on the track. You can't go on the roller coaster. That's another really near thing. You can't go on the roller coaster while it's testing, but you can showcase the coaster. I like that, that's really cool. And back into the station. Nice. Right, so now it's now tested, it's succeeded the test. So obviously we now can have multiple options. You can check. By the looks of it, it's going to go around again. I'm just going to be checking the speed. But while it's doing that, you've got some options down there, which I'll be going through in a second, which is coaster test details. It will show you the stats of the coaster, which is really cool. And then you've got you select a hook for your ride, which is vitally important when building your theme park. You've got to make sure that you select a hook or none of the Park Beyonders. I'm going to call them Beyonders. I like them. I'm going to ride on your roller coaster. You see that red thing that was in the corner? I was tight banking, and that will put off the Beyonders. Don't quote me, the official name for that is not, it's not Beyonders. I don't know what they're called. I like to call them Beyonders. It's my Posify name. So you see the stats now, 62 kilometers. It goes 7.4 G, so that's going to kill you. And it's got a cannon drop and ride length of 67 seconds. Ooh. So now I'm just going to be editing that corner bank turn because it was red, and like before you can just press triangle on the nodes and that just kind of deletes the segments. And then I'm just going to try to make it a bit wider. And I did notice as well when I was building this that the off-rail didn't work to start off with, which is a little bit annoying. And I think it's done it again. something else I need to be looking at. You can have it going through trees if you want. A bit like a dinosaur. Yeah, like Jurassic Park. Have it like a Jurassic Park theme. You know, with those pods in the Jurassic World. That's quite cool. I think you got dinosaurs on the module pieces. Look, it's almost smooth. I mean, I'm getting there. It's good. Like, could a kid pick that up straight away? I doubt it very much. But then kids don't really care, do they? They just create some weird ass coaster. They think it's cool. Right. So, I'm going to say no about constructing the ride. Then it gives you that option. Do you want to save it, yes or no? If you say yes, and you want to get back to that coaster a bit later on, you've got something else you're planning, it's saved it as a blueprint. You see that? And then you can just click back on the roller coaster. And I think I'm just going to go to hooks here, but you can go to edit the ride and you can actually build the coaster. It's going to go to the hooks now. The hooks are important. Now they're going to give that fun and probability, and you've got several. See where the ones that ticks? Those are the ones that is acceptable for my roller coaster. So I'm going to use what's up. Oh no, what am I going to use? What am I going to use? I didn't use what's up. Out of order. So I have these cars, the train come back to the station, a different order they started, which was a bit odd. And cannoneer, this train must go through a cannon. And then I construct the ride, and that's the ride completed. And now, we're going to now showcase, so where the amber is there. Oh, by the way, you can change the ticket prices there, which I'm just showing you. You got tabs up there where, you know, it's guest faults. You got your stats tests. That's all your stats there. And your throughput, which I like the throughput. The one thing I don't like is I haven't seen it yet. You can't add more than one train. I don't like that. Though I haven't really kind of discovered it properly. It's still, I've only had this game 3 days. It's still loads of stuff I'm discovering. So I'm going to showcase it now. There you go, straight into 3-dimension camera, which you can do out of camera there as well. So you can watch it off ride. So we're going to put it back into on ride camera. Also, when the Beyonders do get onto the roller coaster itself, there's kind of, you see them as well, which is a bit annoying. I'm not putting the ride negative or anything like that. It's just there's things that the devs should have sorted out way in advance. I've made that coaster quite smooth actually. It's quite cool. Didn't do that barrel roll there. Here comes the cannon launch. Now we're going to do an off-ride POV. Which was a bit disorientating when I first looked at it actually, as you'll see in a minute. I need to kind of improve the camera options. I expect a part Beyond 2 to come out once this one's done. It all depends how good this game receives and what DLCs come out for it as well. It would be nice to have like a water theme park, a zoo combined as well. Maybe it's too much peripherals in the game. There he goes! Woohoo! That's so cool. That's not a bad barrel roll there. Yeah, and that's it guys. That's really the end of today's video. I mean, really, to be honest, it's, how would I put it? It would be pretty much a complex build, and it's stuff that you need to learn if you want to complex your custom segments. But overall, it's quite fun to build on Part Beyond. You just need to get it right. There is some bugs, but obviously that will be patched and helped. And guys, this is it for today, so I will catch you a little bit later.